Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. This is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle Show, hosted by the founder of this platform, Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK, and myself, Roland Friedl. How important is your health and fitness to you? We show you how you can easily eat healthier every day, how you can improve your fitness and recover much quicker after your exercises and workouts. Families will learn how to optimize their children's health and nutrition. And finally, you will also hear how you live a long, healthy and fit life into your old age. Join us here on It's Your Healthy Lifestyle.
Should I or shouldn't I? Don't do it. You should do it. The doctor said to do it. The internet says don't do it. I'm not sure what it is I should do. I have an injury, I have an illness, I have something in my life that I am really struggling with. And have you ever had those mental gymnastics? Do it, don't do it. Yes, no, devil, angel, what am I supposed to do? We're going to be exploring that today on It's Your Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, USA Global TV and Radio, and Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK. Joining me today for the mental battle of recovery, how to stay motivated through injury, is a man who's going through an injury himself. It's my co-host and dear friend, Mr. Roland Friedl. Let's welcome him to the program. Hello, Roland. Welcome.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello, the audience. Hello. Yeah, by the way, you look amazing, Dr. Jacalyn.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You look well yourself.
Thank you. I try my best.
So you are actually a perfect person to ask because you went out to do something you enjoy doing and it didn't work out so well and you've been injured. Tell us your story.
Yeah. Well, about 3.5 weeks ago, so Friday, it's going, actually Thursday, in 2 days, it's going to be 4 weeks. I'm here on a camping site with my motorhome, and most of our audience know that I'm living full-time in my RV, and I blew up my stand-up paddle, and I brought it to a river, and I wanted to jump directly on the stand-up paddle, just being cool a little bit, jumping on my stand-up paddle. What I didn't recognize was slippery, so the stand-up paddle slipped away, and I fall down on a rock, and I broke my right foot. So that would happen almost 4 weeks ago. So no stand-up paddling, no dog walks, no running, but a lot of other things that I can do and we will discuss in our show.
So I'm trying to picture you standing and then there's the paddleboard and you are going to jump onto it. Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, I was, the stand-up paddle was on the river already, and I was on the grass, and I jumped from the grass directly on the stand-up paddle, but I didn't get the middle one, so I was a little bit on the backside. That's why the stand-up paddle flipped away, and I fall down on a rock with landing with my right foot, and yeah, it's broke.
Roland, what is your first memory of when this happened? Because I know you didn't say, okay, well, let's pack it in for a day. I'm going to go home. When that moment occurred and you realized you didn't jump into the middle of the board, what do you remember happening?
I remember it was so stupid. Boy, what the hell are you doing here? This was my first thought. And then I said, okay, it happened. Then I climbed on my stand-up paddle, stood on my stand-up paddle, and then I was paddling for, I have no memory exactly, between 5 and 10 minutes, something like that. And then the shock was gone, the first shock, and then there was this immediately tremendous pain. So I was paddling back, getting out, and yeah, I thought, yeah, maybe it's not broken. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's not broken, but I'm not a person who goes directly to the doctor, see a doctor, or go to the hospital. I don't like it at all, or call an emergency. So I was, yeah, trying to walk. It didn't really work. I couldn't get on my right foot. I said, okay, let's see what's happening. Maybe it's better tomorrow. And in the night, it was more and more swollen. And the next morning, when I went to the bathroom, so from my camping, from our we to the bathroom of the camping site, I fainted 3 times. So my partner, she found me in the bathroom because I didn't come back. And then on the way back, she helped me to walk back. I fainted again. I fall down again and lost my consciousness. And then I remember I came back to her. She gave me a seat, and I was sitting there. And after a while, I was again for the third time without any consciousness. And she said, no, now it's enough. We go to the hospital. And yeah, then I went to the hospital.
Quite a journey. And I know how you feel about hospitals and doctors. And so when I started at the beginning of the show, I think this is a perfect point to bring it in, is our body gives us signals. And your body was still supporting you for you to paddle for 5 or 10 minutes, right? It didn't shut down. It was like, okay, we got to help this guy get from point A to point B. And then at some point, it's like, hey, buddy, guess what? This isn't working. But we get the information and we still make decisions. I know with myself, with a number of things, it's kind of like, I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. The doctor said, don't do this. And I, like you, I don't like medication. I don't like to follow a lot of what I'm told by traditional medicine, because we want to see, is there a holistic approach? Is the body capable of healing itself? And it is, right? In many cases, the body can heal itself. But what was your mental battle at that time when your body was failing you and your partner said, we have to go to the hospital?
I said, no, no, no. I said, we have to go because maybe something different happened because you fainted 3 times. And she was really scared. So I went to the hospital with her because she wanted me to go, and because she was really scared what happened. And I'm not a heavy guy, but I'm a trained guy, so I have some weight. I'm 90 kilos. I don't know how much is it in pound. And so it was really difficult to get me on the feet again and get me in a seat. So I went to the hospital with her and said, okay, let's go. Before I went, I called the insurance company because I'm privately insured. I pay for it myself, cleared everything, if I had to pay in advance, stuff like that. And then we went to the hospital, and I still was thinking, although the pain was so heavy, that I said, no, it's not broken. It's not broken. It's not broken. So I stood positive. But as I said, I don't like hospital. But in general, if any medical professional is listening, first of all, I'm not a medical professional. Secondly, I'm not against medicine. I'm not against hospital. Okay, to state this clear. But I try to avoid it as much as possible for different reasons, of course. No, and yeah, then I went to the hospital. You sit, you wait to see the doctor, you wait to see the X-ray, you wait to get the plaster cast, and the X-ray again, then you see the doctor again. And you spend a lot of time in hospital, and I don't like the energy there. So mentally, I didn't feel great. But I have to say, as I've not been alone, so my partner was with me, this was really supportive to me.
Thank you for sharing that. And I agree with you. There's definitely a time and place for traditional medicine and for hospitals and doctors. And of course, we respect what the medical profession is doing. But there is a moment when you think, can I handle this myself? And I mentioned to you, I think it was 3 weeks now since I was getting those violent back spasms, which were it was just like my back was locking up and I couldn't even breathe. It was like tiny sips of air. And I said to myself, you probably should go to the hospital. And then I just started processing it, which I shared already, which I don't know how I could get to the hospital. So I'd have to call an ambulance, which means I'd have to call the insurance company, which means the ambulance would have to get access to the building. I mean, on and on and on and on. So I basically just said, okay, enough of the mental gymnastics. I'm going to use some deep breathing to try to calm the spasms down. And then when I have an opportunity to think rationally, because right now I'm in a crisis mode, then I will evaluate. And of course, when I wasn't in pain anymore, I said, no, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not going to see a doctor. And then it happened 5 nights in a row. And then fortunately, I really felt like, because I took magnesium, that had an impact, although people are telling me that has nothing to do with it. But I think there is a certain amount of healing we can do mentally that our body will start to heal itself. But at some point, that might not be the case. But I want to focus on now the fact that you are a very active person. You have a beautiful dog. You love walking your dog. You love working out. You're just a physical guy. And now you had to sit and are sitting still in a chair. So when did you start to feel angry, if you did?
Actually, when I came back from the hospital. Oh my gosh. I said, I can stand a lot of stuff, but I walk my dog every morning, an hour and a half. I do my 15 to 20,000 steps a day. I said, I'm not a sitting person, my body's not designed, or generally our bodies are not designed to sit. I have to sit the whole day. My gosh. I cannot walk. This was one thing. I was really fed up. And the second thing is, it's really hard for me, to be honest. And, before my partner, I've been 4 years single, and it's really hard for me to ask for help and to depend on someone to, I don't know, to drive you to the hospital, or to help you to go to the bathroom, or to help you in the shower to clean or stuff like that. It was really difficult for me to accept this and ask for this help, and of course accept and appreciate it. The first 4 or 5 days was really hard for me mentally, to be honest. Even I'm coaching other people, but when I was in the situation, it was really difficult for me, to be honest.
And I understand that, and I appreciate your candor with that, because I live alone, and it is difficult to think about having to depend on someone. So you and I have talked many times. We've done hundreds of shows together, but life lessons. Do you feel there was a lesson? Was the universe speaking to you, or was this purely an accident?
Good question, Dr. Jacalyn. I was thinking about many times, what could the learning be? Is it about slowing down? Actually, my life slowed down years ago already. So, I don't know. I was thinking about, because I started a few books writing parallel, and I think, and I'm building a business, and I thought maybe it's a good time. I cannot travel, I cannot walk my dog, I cannot see my clients in person. Maybe it's time to finish my books I started, and yeah, that's what I did. But yeah, working on my books besides all the other things. So, make a long story short, of course, I came back to working out. I'm still working out 3 times, 4 times a week. I still stuck to my diet. I eat a little bit less because I move less, of course, and I brought in some new stuff because that I'm sitting all day or lying in bed in the night, not much movement. My digestion system slowed down, so I had to bring in some supplements to get it more easy on the bathroom. And yeah, of course I had to adapt my workout totally, because I couldn't stand on my legs. So yeah, but I could handle it. But it was a learning journey for me, because I don't know exactly, but I guess my last blaster cast head was on my arm, not in my leg. I never had it in the leg about 30 years ago, so I'm not used to it. So, yeah. But to answer your question, my learning, I guess, was, yeah, finish the books. Take the time now. You cannot move. Finish the books.
I love how you made lemonade out of lemons. But thinking about that day when you went for the stand-up paddleboard and you decided to take that jump, that leap, I have paddleboarded for years. I'm not currently because of my nails. I can't pick the board up anymore. But I never actually tried to leap onto the board. And I know we've talked about the fact that most people, you bring it over to a stable surface, and maybe you're kneeling on it, and then you slowly start to stand up. So what was the motivation for you to actually leap onto the board?
Well, first of all, I practiced stand-up paddling, I don't know, more than 10 years. I guess I bought it, I've been 10 years ago or 12 years ago, I don't know, so it's a long time. I do stand-up paddling, so I'm quite used to it. And you know, the river is there are no waves like on the ocean, so it's easy. So they said, okay. I mean, there was no, to be honest, there was no audience to watch me. I didn't for that, yeah, for me. So I said,
Hey,
no,
Roland, way to go.
look at this old guy, still cool. No, that was not my motivation. No, so I brought it on the river and it's down there. I said, okay, let's jump on it and go directly, because there are some people stand-up paddling, but I don't know why, but I'm here now for 4 weeks. I never saw anyone standing on the stand-up, but they're all kneeling. I don't know why. So I stood up because I'm used to stand even when there are waves in the ocean. So I'm an advanced stand-up paddler, call it like this. So I said, okay, let's jump on it and go directly. You know, it's not the first time that I did it like this way, to be honest.
So knowing that you have experience, and again, we're always just searching, is there a hidden meaning? What are your thoughts now when you get the cast off and the next time you go to do stand-up paddleboarding? Will you jump onto the board again?
Yeah, of course.
I love it.
Maybe on a different spot where there's no rocks behind.
You put like an X on there. That's where you have to leap onto it.
But you know what, Dr. Jacalyn, the interesting thing is I was really pissed off, you know. And then my stand-up paddling was leaning on the caravan. And I guess it was on the second day. I was sitting outside. I was reading a book together with my partner. We had a cup of coffee, and then there was a noise like, you know, like the air suspension of a truck is broken. So there's this noise, and we said, "What is it?" We didn't see anything, and a few years later, the stand-up paddle opened, and it's a hole there, and all the air is gone. So the stand-up paddle is rotten. So I don't miss stand-up paddling at all because my leg is broken. The stand-up paddle is rotten. A friend of mine at the moment is repairing it. So I don't know.
There's definitely a lesson there. I think stand-up paddleboarding is a lot of fun, and it is challenging, especially if you are in the ocean or you're in a waterway that's going close to the ocean. But I always found that my toes would get numb because I'm gripping onto it so strongly. And of course, I never wanted to fall off. I think I fell off one time in all the years that I did it, but I didn't want to fall off because I don't actually want to be in the water because I'm afraid of fish, which is another whole story. But let's go back to the mental battle of recovery, because I think this is really important. Something happens that takes us out of our typical daily routine. And all of a sudden, we are now confronted with the fact that we have to basically reinvent ourselves. And for some people, they never get past the anger. Why me? This isn't my fault. This was because of this and that and the other. And so they spend so much time in that negative place that they're not exploring, well, what positive could come out of this? And so you took that ball and you literally ran with it and decided to focus on your writing. So what if you hadn't had the ability to write your books? What else might you have done? For people, let's say they don't write books. People are watching this and they're thinking, well, yeah, I'm not actually writing a book. What else can people do if they break a leg?
Well, I mean, you still can work out. That's what I mentioned in the beginning. I still continue with my workout. Of course, I had to adapt it. I couldn't do my military push-ups, my squats, what I really love. So, but I could work with my kettlebells, my upper body, my arms. I was also lying on the ground and you know and lifting my legs and stuff like that. So what was possible, I did, and I still do. That's one thing. So I continued my workout. As I said, I cannot walk around. That's impossible. Instead of writing books, I mean, you can read. Maybe you can take your time and read. Maybe you can take time and call friends you didn't, or family you didn't call a long time, or write them a letter, or maybe you have an argue with someone and it's time to say I'm sorry. or maybe you can start writing a book or painting, or I don't know, whatever you. And there's so many options you can do, besides writing books, is whatever you can do with your brain, or maybe you can, I don't know, you can knitting or stuff like that, to produce something with your hands when you're working with wood or whatever. So there's so many options, what you can do. And maybe the best thing, if you don't have an idea, I ask AI and said, okay, I have insured this and this. I have maybe a plaster cast in my arm, in my leg, whatever. Give me some choices I can do the next 3-4 weeks, because I cannot walk or I cannot use my left arm or my right arm or whatever. Give me some choices. Why not asking AI?
Great suggestions. I think it's a time where we can tap into our creativity, or maybe to evaluate what it was that we've been doing. So I mentioned to you about the back spasms, and what ended up happening was I spoke to someone at the gym, and this person said, do you do any stretching? And I said, zero, the big zip. No stretching, no yoga. I don't do any of it anymore. And so the person said, well, you might want to get stretched out. So I did. And then that person said, have you ever really worked with anyone to look at what you're actually doing? And I said, no, because I was a trainer for years. Sometimes when you have expertise, you can be the worst client in the world because you're not actually following what you would instruct someone else to do. So together we looked at what I was doing, which was basically taking 2 classes a day, fitness classes. Half the time you're on the treadmill and half the time you're on the floor, and basically looking at what are my fitness goals and am I actually accomplishing that? And so the answer was no. And so now I'm doing something completely different. Now I'm lifting weights 3 times a week, following a protocol, and I've cut back on the cardio, and I'm only going to take 2 classes a week. And honestly, I was really upset about it. No one's making me do it, but I thought, I like going to the classes. It's fun. There's cool music and you get to change what you're doing. You're sprinting, then you're jogging, then you're walking, and you're lifting weights. And I went yesterday to the gym to lift weights following this routine. And I was a little angry because I saw the class taking place and I wasn't there. And normally I would be there. And I was kind of like, and then I dropped my phone a few times and I knocked over my water. I was just getting really disgusted. And so by the time I finished working out, I was very tired. And I thought, okay, this is a different kind of tired from what I usually am. So maybe this is what my body's looking for. But I haven't been very willing and compliant. I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing now. But at the same time, it's hard to let go of the routines that we have.
100%, Dr. Jacalyn, 100%. And I don't know how many times I said to my partner, I miss the dog walks, I miss the dog walks, I miss the dog walks. I don't know how many times I told her. Yeah, because that's what I really miss. I always had dogs, and I love this walk, especially early in the morning, just to, the air is fresh, the light is different, there are not many people around. I miss this so much. But yeah, I was not complaining, but I said many times I miss the dog. But on the other hand, I'm so happy that she is with me since a few months, because if I would be alone, standing somewhere in the wild with her motorhome, of course I can call an ambulance and go to the clinic and they bring me back, but who does my grocery? Who walks my dog? Who helps me showering? Whatever. Pooh, gosh. So I said, thanks, Lord, that I'm not alone. We know us personally. I always enjoyed being by myself, 100%. Yeah, I was 100% happy single, but this time I said, oh gosh, happy not to be single again. To be honest, very practical, and very egoistic, because I wouldn't. Of course, you can organize a dog sitter, and you can organize everything. That's not an issue, but it's much more work. But to continue, what I also did, because I cannot walk, I cannot move much. So I found out that my digestion system is slowing down. I started fasting yesterday, to be honest. So today is my 2nd day of fasting. So I said, okay, Friday I get rid. Hopefully, they told me. Hopefully it's true. After 4 weeks, I get rid of my plaster cast. So I'm gonna fast from starting yesterday, Monday, until Friday. I do a fast, and tomorrow I go to a therapy, a colon hydrotherapy, and I said, okay, use the time now before you get ready to work out harder, to do your push-ups, to walk the dog, okay, cleanse your body, and then a full restart afterwards.
So you're really capitalizing on this time to improve yourself mentally and physically, clean everything out. On Friday, when you get the plaster cast taken off, will you have a walking cast or will you just be cast free?
I will be cast free, yeah. I mean, they told me, the point is when you go to a clinic, to a hospital, you always see a different doctor. luckily, to be honest, because I remember the second doctor, because after a week they changed it, because in the beginning I had a so-called open plaster cast because I was so swollen they couldn't close it. So after a week I got rid of it. They gave me another one, a closed one, but I was not allowed to walk around. And to be honest, I got it on Friday, and on Sunday we drove to a beautiful Czech city. And my partner, she's never been there. So we drove there and I was walking around 3 miles with this non-walking plaster. with my crutches. I was walking around the city. It was a little bit difficult, this old city with all this stony roads, but it was beautiful there. I enjoyed it. Actually, when I came back in the evening, I was very exhausted, but it was a really cool thing. And then my pasta cast was totally broken.
I was going to say it's got to be ruined, shreds. So and how are your underarms from the crutches? Don't they hurt?
No. Well, actually, I never have an issue with pain at all. No. Of course, I can feel it. It's quite hard when you just have all the weight on your arms, but I'm fine with that. I'm trained. I'm fine with that. I also have a good grip, so I'm fine with that, and I have no issue with as I said, with pain. That's one thing, because the first doctor, when on the first day I went there after the accident, he was writing down some pharmacy and some painkiller. Said, forget it, I don't take any painkiller. I said, but you have an amazing, really strong pain because you fainted 3 times because it was too much stress for body. I said, yes, but I love the pain. Please don't understand me wrong. I love the pain because it gives me feedback that, okay, stay still. Because, when I take a painkiller, I never take a painkiller because then I really sit in a chair or lay down, whatever it is, a surgery or when something broken. Because when a painkiller, you move too much. So that's why I don't. The painkiller, the pain has. It makes sense. The pain has a purpose. It gives you feedback. There's something wrong. Just lay down, slow down, don't move, or don't move this way or this way. So I didn't take painkillers. And then he wrote down, I don't know how to call it. You have this small injection you put in your belly. If there's a belly close to your stomach, so you don't get this, your veins are not closing, you don't get this stroke or in your lungs or in your head. I said, no, I don't think you have
blood thinner?
Sorry?
Is it blood thinner?
Yeah, blood thinner. Yeah, you have to take this every day. I took it twice and then I stopped it. And I said, yeah, but you have to. I said, no, I'm working out, even moving my legs. I lay it down on the floor, I'm moving my legs up and down, and I'm still active. But anyway, so 2 doctors already have been pissed off. And then I came back to the hospital, said, you have to change my I said, is it? No, because I was already fixing some stuff. And I said, well, what have you done? I said, I don't know. I only walked from the caravan to the bathroom. That's all. But it was totally stressed. No, only a short way. But did you walk around the city? No.
No, I did not walk 3 miles.
I didn't talk a lot. And it broke 2 times, and then I had to get again. And then there was a different lady who did this plus. I said, wow, it looks crazy. What are you doing? I said, look, only 400 or 500 steps a day from the caravan to the bathroom, because when I move more, I switch my step count off.
Yes, I figure that. And maybe they just didn't put that cast on properly. Who knows what the reason could be?
I don't know. But it's again broken, but I don't get rid of it anyway on Friday.
So you really have made the best of it. I mean, that's impressive to be on crutches and walk 3 miles. That's especially on those cobblestone streets. That's very difficult. So kudos to you. So you're now fasting, and to some people that is a concept that they don't understand and don't want to know anything about. And you've done a number of shows on water fasting. What are some of the benefits that you feel you are getting by fasting right now?
Well, first of all, the reasons why I started fasting, it's not only because of the accident, it's because the last weeks I had too many carbs. I mean, not many carbs, but for because I'm a low carb or mostly a carnivore, so too many carbs. I had, I guess, one time a pizza and one pasta, bread, and almost every day a piece of cookie or a piece of cake. So yeah, pretty much because my auntie was baking, then my partner was baking, her daughter was baking, and I cannot say no. So I felt a little bit fatigued. Maybe it was a little bit because I was frustrated in the first week after the accident. A little bit because I was like, okay, and it's a good time, to start fasting because I cannot walk. I don't go to restaurants. I go to see friends. So it's a good time to start a fast. Actually, tomorrow, Wednesday, when we go to this colon hydrotherapy, it's a good time because it's full moon tomorrow here. So it's all good. So, and I did my last fast in April, March or April. I don't remember. When I was in Italy, I did my last fast. So I do it three to four times a year. I do a fast. Mostly it's a 5 days fast. And mostly water fast, or I do a sardine fast. This time it's a water and tea fast. But I have to be honest, I made some videos. I have a coffee in the morning. I have a small coffee in the morning because I know that if I don't have a coffee, my headache is too painful because I'm a little bit. I guess I'm a little bit addicted to coffee. So I take a small coffee in the morning, but the rest of the day just water, tea, and we have in the evening. I want something warm. We have a miso soup. This Japanese
Mm-hmm.
miso paste, but just a paste in the soup, so there's nothing to chew or something. So we drink this warm, because I got some problems with my with my system. And I said, okay, because I drink so much water, I go many times to the bathroom. I guess I washed out a lot of minerals and salt. So I said, okay, I need more salt, and I don't want just drink water with the lime and salt. I don't like that. So I said, okay, let's have a miso paste. There are minerals in there, are different salts, and so I take this because I found out that I need more salt in my system.
Which makes a lot of sense. And not to get into the toilet, so to speak, but if you look at the color of your urine, it actually gives you a message about how hydrated you are or how dehydrated you are. And I don't know that people actually pay attention to that. So I know with myself, I drink 96 ounces of water a day. And I will put this product in there. You're supposed to have one, maybe teaspoon in a day. So I just break it up into three because I'll have 32 ounces of water. And I find myself running quite a bit, which is good because you're cleaning out your system. Now, if you're in public, you don't want to be running to the bathroom all the time. But I think that drinking a lot of water obviously is very good for us. It's good for our skin. It's good for our organs. I know people who don't like to drink water at all, and they substitute it with diet sodas and other things, which people will say, oh, well, I'm drinking iced tea, which is made out of water. So what are your thoughts about that? Does that actually the same as drinking water?
No, well, first of all, I don't drink sodas or sweetened stuff.
I don't either.
Very rare times. It can happen when it's very hot outside, and I feel that my blood sugar is going down. I have a little bit iced tea, but I don't like Coca-Cola or stuff like that. Not at all. Um, I drink. I think I started when I was 19 years old or something, or 20 years old. We just drinking still water. So I always had sparkling water. I always said still water is boring, But I changed it in very many years ago, and I don't like sparkling water at all. It's too aggressive for me. So I love still water. Sometimes I want some taste, but I have my coffee, and if I want some taste in, I press a lime in or a lemon or something like that. Uh, but to answer your question, first of all, every product that is artificial, most of the products in supermarkets are artificial. That's first of all. If there's sugar inside, well, it's sugar. There's sugar, but many of them, or more and more of them, have artificial sugars, and they're even worse. And people are wondering why they're gaining weight. They say, I don't eat much, but they drink a lot of the soft drinks. And it doesn't matter if this is sugar or it's not sugar. Most people understand it because when your body, especially your receptors under your tongue, when they taste sweet, your body is producing insulin immediately. Doesn't matter if there's a calorie or no calorie. If it's a 0-calorie product, you're still producing insulin. And when you're producing insulin, you get fat. I want to go too deep to this. But when you do a fast or when you do a cleansing, detoxing, the pure water is the best one because water is not only hydrating you, it's not only cooling you down, it's not only bringing information from cell to cell, it also has the capability to absorb negative stuff, toxic stuff, and bring it out through your urine. So the cleaner the water, the more the water can absorb and transport out of your body. That's the point. That's why pure water is even better than tea, but sometimes I have a herbal tea because I want some taste. But the cleaner the water, the purer the water, the more your water can transport out of your body. And this is the negative part that I mentioned before, is of course it's also getting rid of a lot of minerals and salt which are really necessary for your system. So you have to take supplements, or like normally I take supplements, but they're all in my motorhome and I cannot pick up my motor because I cannot drive. I'm the caravan of my partner. So that's why I do this miso soup to get some salt or minerals. Yeah, but pure water is the best one.
Absolutely. And especially for our friends who exercise and they're perspiring, you have to be able to put those minerals back into your system. And I just want to say one thing about sugar, because you hit on something that's really important. Now the food manufacturers are disguising sugar with different products. And so even though you might not see it, if you're reading labels, which is really important, if you're not seeing sugar as first, second, third, you might see it disguised in some other name. So meaning in another product that has sugar. So for example, corn syrup, that has a lot of sugar in it. And people might not think of that. So I would, if you're interested in your health, I would definitely start reading labels. And instead of just focusing on the calories, I would look at what are the actual contents. And so people will say, oh, well, it has 0 calories, 0 fat, but can you please explain to me what is actually in it? There are these long chemicals that you have no idea what they are. They're not natural. You can't go in the farm or in the ground and pull them out and go, I'm eating this. They were all manufactured in a lab somewhere. So how could that be good for us?
100%. And as you mentioned, industry is always finding new words and new ways to bring a kind of sugar into the product. Well, I know that it's not practical for most people. I'm not sure. You drive your business, you work 9 to 5, your family, and so I know you're not in the same situation like mine that have a free lifestyle. I'm looking just for clean, pure food. So I don't go to the supermarkets. I don't buy processed food and stuff like that. So I don't care about calories. I don't care about ingredients or about sugar, or maybe they bring some insects in or GMO stuff or whatever, because I don't buy in general not food that could be poisoned by sugar, artificial sweeteners, or coloring or whatever, because I don't buy it at all. I buy my eggs here from a farm directly, by huge eggs. Mostly if they have two Yorks in it. They're so huge. They have 2 Yorks in it. They're organic and very, very cheap. I get them for 25 cents. This is 25 cents is nothing. You can. I get my meat from my friend who has 180 Black Angus cattle. So he's slaughtering once a month. I get my things there. I have another friend who has a huge herd of goats. I get my goat meat there and stuff like that. I get my honey from somebody I know. So that's most of my food, So I'm not absolutely concerned what the industry is doing, because I don't buy the products. But I know that most people do, and especially for families, where we have small kids, they see commercials, or they see their bodies in school or in kindergarten, they have this or this and this. I know as a parent it's quite difficult, but really take care what's inside. My tip is always, when a product has more than 5 ingredients, if possible, stay away. Stay away.
Stay away. And I think you've hit on some really good points. Not everyone has a free lifestyle, right? Not everyone is able to get their eggs fresh from the farm. But I think it's also about the choices we make. I know on Saturday I was out doing some errands and I didn't get to eat dinner and I was very hungry, and I don't eat after 7 o'clock at night. And I thought, I am starving. You know, you feel like if you don't get food, you can't function, which is not true because we know it's all psychological. And I was driving past this fast food place and I thought, I haven't eaten fast food in I don't even know how long. And I thought I could easily go in, and I'm sure they're going to have something that's supposed to be fresh. And I thought, just don't do it. Don't eat. So I just drove back, went home, didn't eat anything. But I think we talk ourselves into something like, oh my gosh, I've got to have food. I'm going to pass out. It's probably not the case. So
No,
just
100%. 100%. You know, I mean, I don't know where we've been. I don't know. I remember. We have been out in the afternoon to pick up some stuff, and on the way back, I was really hungry, and I said to my partner, because it was before the fasting, I'm really hungry, and it was still an hour to drive, and I said, can you hold it, or should we go to a restaurant and pick up? I said, no, I'm hungry, yes, but it doesn't mean I need immediately something, you know. I can wait for an hour, you know? It's not a 6 or 7 or 10 hours drive, it's just an hour. But as you mentioned, most people need immediate satisfaction. Immediate satisfaction. They never learn to really keep it. Yeah. And the question is, are you really? What I always ask myself is, am I really hungry, or just bored, or I just want the taste of something special? And most of the time, we're not even hungry. I mean, we're not suffering. You know, we're not starving. Most of us. You know, there's so much food around us, and I think it's quite a learning. You know, so okay, even when I feel kind of hunger, not to eat immediately and learn, is it going away? And what I do is I always have a glass of water with me. You know, I just drink water and it feels a little by my stomach. I guess we have to learn not to satisfy every need that we think we have in general.
such a good point. I love that. Yes. If we are looking to eat every moment that we feel hungry, we are training our body as opposed to, okay, I don't need to eat right now. I am going to keep moving forward, focus on what I'm doing, and then I'll eat in an hour, whenever it is. You're training your body that you don't have to have immediate gratification. And I think that's important as business owners because there is no immediate gratification. And we've got to keep coming back over and over and over again. So, Roland, I have really enjoyed this episode, The Mental Battle of Recovery, How to Stay Motivated Through Injury. How can you help people, and who would you like to contact you?
Again, how can I help people? I'm normally I'm a business coach, but I also do not fitness coaching, but mentally coaching for people who want to change their lifestyle. Actually, right now I'm working with an artist, a very famous American artist, who asked me, "Hey, can you bring me back on track? I hate working out, so I motivated him." So the best way is go on my website, and then you see what I'm offering. It's rolandfriedl.com, and from there, it's in English and German available. From there, you can link to SPS, which is my business website because I've been coaching and training the largest companies in the world for many, many years. Tech companies, most of the time. I do one-to-one coaching with individual clients. I work with men. And I started a new business, which is not on the website because I want to do an additional website. I'm helping small scale businesses integrating AI agents to run their business more efficient so they can save, I would say, 5 hours a week at least, where they can use for this part-time for the family or just having more time for the clients. So, but go to my website, rolandfriedl.com, or get directly with me in contact by emailing me, Roland Friedl, office at rolandfriedl.com. You can also get my books on Amazon. It's in English and in German available. There's a business book there. It's called The Innovation Edge. There's a book coming soon from the doer to the architect of your own life. So if you are a person who is just hustling, there's a new book coming out of that. So yeah, but you find everything on my website. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we do have the link to Amazon for people to go ahead and just click right on there and to purchase your book. So thank you, Roland. You do have a show or shows coming up, correct?
Yes, I have another show in German. So if you speak German or know somebody who speaks German and understands German, I do a show, a Mutmacher talk. I have an amazing lady as a guest, Jacalyn. She was suffering from cancer, grade 4. She didn't give up. She fought back to her life, and now she's encouraging people, staying encouraged, staying motivated, staying inspired, whatever happened to her life. So stay tuned at the Mutmacher talk in German, and here at USA Global TV and Radio. And if you look at live to it today at 8 p.m. Central European Time, or if you miss it, don't worry, go to your YouTube channel and see the recording.
Roland, thank you so much for being here. It's an absolute pleasure, and best wishes with your show. And by the way, Roland has been promoted to executive producer here at USA Global TV and Radio because he put so much time, energy, and passion into learning how to produce his own shows. He now will be producing shows for other people in addition to the Persistence Payoff show. So Roland, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to be part of this amazing journey and this amazing community.
Thank you again. And for those of you who haven't done so yet, please do consider subscribing to our 2 YouTube channels, USA Global TV and Radio and Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK. Be part of our community and ring that bell so that you're aware of our next upcoming episode. Thank you again for being here. As we close out today, I would like to run a short clip about my new book that's coming out in September. And it's basically about the fact that we have information and yet we choose not to move forward. We know what we're supposed to be doing, but we don't take action. The book is called Stop Why Knowing Isn't Enough. Let's take a look.
Every day, we wake up knowing what we should do. We know we should take better care of ourselves. We know we should have the difficult conversation. We know we should stop making excuses. We know we should invest in our future. We also know we should take the first step. So why don't we? It's not because we aren't smart enough. It's not because we don't have enough information. And it's certainly not because we don't care. We live in a world overflowing with knowledge. Books, podcasts, videos, courses, experts, even artificial intelligence. We have more access to information than any generation before us. Yet so many of us are still waiting for the right time, waiting to feel ready, waiting until tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and before you know it, another opportunity has passed us by. The truth is, knowing has never been the finish line. It's only the starting line. Our lives don't change because we know more. Our businesses don't grow because we know more. Our relationships don't improve because we know more. And our health doesn't transform because we know more. Everything changes when we act. When we choose courage over comfort, progress over perfection, action over intention. The question isn't, what else do we need to know? The question is, what are we going to do with what we already know? Stop. Why Knowing Isn't Enough by Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK. Because knowing opens the door. Action changes your life. Available September 2026.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram-Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to TracyCramPerkins.com. Tracy Cram Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/usaglobaltv. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.